So it's April 15th, tax day, heading on my way up to the cabin. And as I was just heading out of town, there's a boat heading out. There's another one off to the side. We had a lot of ice on the lake early, and it's now probably 75% gone. Blows around now a little bit, and the ships are starting to come in. I think they said the first salty might show up today, so I guess spring is here. So I'm heading up to the cabin, and there's a small river here, and I just happened to glance off to the side and noticed along the edge of the open water a couple of swans and a couple of Canadian honkers. There seems to be more and more swans showing up in this area. They're just awesome birds, quite majestic. Those are a couple of good-sized Canadian honkers as well. I suppose they're thinking about mating season coming up. Waiting for a little more open water, I'm sure. So I will leave them be now and continue the trip north. Well, I got to the cabin here about, I don't know, about 11 o'clock this morning, so about an hour ago. Got the fire going. It was 32 degrees inside the cabin and about 36 degrees outside the cabin. One thing, it won't take quite as long to heat up, so I'm not even turning the baseboard electric heat on in the other part of the cabin. We'll just let this wood stove cook here and get it warmed up, and I'll show you a couple things outside. The dog is sitting there waiting for something to happen. Of course, he had to check everything out. The deer tracks, every little sniff and smell. You know, when you're a male dog, that's what you do, check your territory. So he's patiently waiting for me to do something fun. Or at least he'll follow me around. Whether it's fun or not, it's probably to be determined. So it looks like we had a bit of an accident here. I think what might have happened is there was a lot of ice and that up on the roof, and I think that downspout got full of ice, and it probably just got too heavy and busted it off. At least that's what I think might have happened. So I'm just going to turn that one elbow there and at least get the water moving away from off the porch. And I can always cut off that little piece there, get a little bit more length to get it away. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do right now. Got the four-wheeler out. On this trip I'm going to take the plow off since I think we're done probably plowing. I guess if we did get some snow and needed to move it, I can always use the snow blower. But I'm gonna kind of rearrange the shed now a little bit, and some things that I won't use till next winter will get moved up to the front. And like I say, get the plow off, move the snow blower up to the front. Now I'll be using the four-wheeler and the trailer, which is over here. Be using that a little bit more now this spring and summer, cleaning up some of the blowdowns and thin out a few more of these balsam and just different projects around here. Another one of my projects on this trip up to the cabin is to set up this new mattress, a twin mattress to go on this bottom bunk here. That mattress that's been on that twin has been there since I built this addition, and it's actually the box spring that's on the top of the bunk beds here. So what I decided to do was buy this gel foam mattress, which I picked up at Costco in Brainerd here a few weeks ago. And I'm going to put that one on the bottom bunk and then move the mattress from that bottom bunk up to the top and take that box spring out of there and probably just dispose of that. And I think that'll make for a little more comfort for everybody. So basically, I guess you're just supposed to take it out of the box here. It's all curled up. Vacuum packed, and then once you cut that bag open, it starts kind of inflating itself, I guess. Well, we'll just let it go for now and kind of get itself inflated up. It's a little bit tight. It's a little bit wider than that mattress I took off from there, not by much, but I think it'll be okay once it gets all inflated, so we'll just let it go there now for some time, and maybe I'll work at getting that box spring off the top and that other mattress up there. Well, it's Tuesday, April 16th. Looked like it was going to rain this morning, but man, it cleared up. Sun came out. Supposed to get up close to 60 today, so I'm actually cleaning a little bit of this woods out. Some of these blowdowns, I want to make a trail through this part of the woods that I can get the four-wheeler through and that. So it's such a nice day. Like I said, I'm gonna just plug away a little bit at this. So I trimmed up some dead balsams that were standing, and then I'm creating the brush piles, which I will haul away in the trailer a little bit later this spring. So it's just too nice to not be outside and doing a few things. Well, it's cleaning up a little bit nicer there. Trimming out some of that old balsam. Some of it will go to my neighbor in town who likes to have campfires and isn't able to get wood himself. So I usually kind of grab a lot of this scrap wood, which can go for his little campfires in the backyard. Like I say, I just salvage that stuff, which in most cases wouldn't be too usable for anything but campfire stuff. So anyway, it helps him out a little bit and gets my woods here cleaned up a little bit better. So I think I'll probably work on this jack pine here that's down. There's some wood that's salvageable there, but some of it's not either. But we'll see what we can retrieve from that. Well, here's a pile of campfire wood. You see I got this area cleaned out a little bit. There's more of that jack pine, but there's a lot more snow kind of on the bank there, so I'll wait and do that another time when I come up here. And I'll kind of work my way out towards the road here. And then this area right in here, I took all the little stubs out with the chainsaw because I want to be able to move the four-wheeler, the ATV, through here with the trailer pick up wood, be able to discard some of the stuff that I want out of the way and stuff. So we'll just keep plugging away. I did some more out here. There were a couple of white pines, small ones, that had, I think, blister rust on them. So I took those down, since there are a few smaller white pines in here. I don't want that to transmit to other ones if I can help it. I'm going to take a little break. Maybe I'll clean the chainsaw, since when you cut down close to the ground, they tend to get a little more dirty. Plus it sat all winter, although it did fire up right away. So anyway, I think I did 3 tanks of gas, so that's about all, and then take a break. Well, it's Friday, April 19th. I came back up this afternoon, did a little chainsaw work. I didn't do any videotaping of that. We'll tape some tomorrow. And then Stephen came up after work tonight. There's Ludo hanging out in the remaining snowbanks. I don't know if he's watching for squirrels or what, but kind of likes laying in the snow, I guess. So it's such a nice evening. Some of the brush that I had cut on the last trip up here, Stephen decided to start a campfire and burn a little bit of that, just because it's so nice out. I want to take advantage of it. It's starting to get a little bit dark. Looks like a couple of the muskrat houses there. It's opening up a little bit of water, but I think we still got another week or so before I think the ice will go off. I'm guessing there's probably still a foot of ice out there, but tomorrow it's supposed to be nice and up into the 60s, so what snow and ice remains will probably start going fast.
Well, we had rain overnight. Kind of a gloomy Easter Sunday. But we noticed a couple of eagles sitting out on the tree up above the lake. Looks like an immature and then an adult bald eagle. I imagine we won't see the muskrats running out on the ice like we saw yesterday. At least not while those guys are hanging out. Meanwhile, back inside, the dog is in his usual spot, lounged. You guys might be able to see the patch of missing fur. He had a lump removed a few weeks ago, and then he ended up ingesting some sort of toxic mold outside the next week, and getting a rather scary fungal toxicity issue. It looked as if he was having a massive seizure, but his muscles were just tremoring and tensing, and we had to bring him into the emergency vet, but he recovered once that cleared his system, and took him a few days, and he walked around kind of like he was drunk or something, but he recovered from that enough to come up and enjoy the cabin and hang out and rest in his favorite spot. Well, our eagle friends have left, but the fog has rolled in. It's been kind of a unique weather day. I don't know that we got any film of the sunrise this morning, but it was pretty interesting in terms of fog, and then kind of, it doesn't show up on camera real well, but there's a brighter streak just above the tree line, and that was kind of a bright red this morning. It's definitely that transition time of year. We were walking around yesterday and working yesterday in primarily t-shirts, but today's kind of wet and gloomy and a little cooler, and kind of that perfect temperature to create this fog. There's a lot more birds out chirping, moving back into the area. I'm excited to come up this summer and see what it's like. It's been a lot of years since I've been up here in the summertime. So Dad keeps talking about the bugs. We'll see if they're as bad as he seems to think they are, or maybe living in Alaska has hardened me to bugs with the mosquitoes and that we had up there. But I guess we'll see.